Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today, we finally, after forever, we finally got the announcement for Jurassic World Evolution 3. We knew it was happening, but we didn't know when it was happening. But now we know when it's happening. And we got our first look, and I have to say, initially I was very skeptical of Jurassic World Evolution 3. I was thinking, unless they do something really big, like breeding, modular pieces, uh, improvements to lagoons and things like that, some really big things, there was like no way they could sell the game like the other two. Because you think like a third one and all these things people wanting, unless they gave us pretty much all of those things, you could not sell it to most people, like the 99%, because they've already got the two games that were paid for, probably like just under $1,000 over the past 5 years were paid for Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2. But I think they've convinced me, and they have done a lot of what the community asked for, and it's pretty awesome. But we're going to get stuck into it. So first we're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to have a read of the Steam thing and have a look at some screenshots and stuff, and then we'll go back and have a look and kind of talk about it and see what it means, and have a discussion. Will mainly just be discussion to you and just giving my thoughts and my own opinions and things like that from stuff that I've seen and other people said as well. But yeah, let's have a look. So this is Jurassic World Evolution 3.
Peggy 16.
We altered the course of nature, unleashed genetic power across continents. Now it is up to us to nurture what we have set free, to find hope within this chaos. Well, to help life find a way.
And there we are. So that is Jurassic World Evolution 3. That's the trailer. So we're going to have a look at the Steam page. So you can see these are mostly just shots from the trailer. So you can see some of the updates we'll talk about here. You can see the first one, these cute baby dinosaurs. How adorable are they? Little cute little guys. Even though I say they're little, they're probably at least like 5 meters tall. So they're still quite huge, but compared to their parents, very cute, and I'm definitely a big fan. And then you can see as well over here a nice big pond with lily pads, and you can see as well the Brachiosaurus are pretty much like shin deep in them, or like chest deep. So for a Brachiosaurus, it's like a 12-meter tall dinosaur. That means that the water would have to be a lot deeper than it is in Jurassic World Evolution 2, 1 and 2. So we'll carry on, have a look at some other things. You can see this is a wonderful shot of the park, and I think this is actually going to be a good sign of things being modular. So I talked a lot about stuff being modular. We'll get to a little bit into that a while ago, but you can see some of the beautiful things you can make with your park. So you can see a lot of things are coming, like zip lines are still staying, some lagoons, but you can see a lot of the changes. You can see a lot of these rocks and things, and these buildings are all completely unique, and you can see just a lot of these changes. You can now like hide the edges of your lagoons with rocks, so you don't have to have that big concrete around there. And you can see there's just a lot more variety to your parks. You can definitely see you can add quite well there, and that's due to the really awesome new modular system. Fountains, things like that. Next up, here's another good look. So this is a big bad Mama T-Rex that looks like Papa T-Rex in the background potentially. And then, as mentioned, we've got breeding and babies. So they literally went all out. I thought if they were going to do babies, they'll just do cosmetics, or they would just do cosmetics or something like that. But they actually went all out and actually gave us breeding as a mechanic. So that's very interesting. And I'm so glad, because this is probably the only features that I think could have made this game worth it. And they've actually gone pretty much all out and made this feature work, because breeding is such a big part of the original franchise. Worrying about getting out the breeding, and then in Jurassic World Dominion, things like that, they're like realizing that okay, they're actually getting out to the world and starting to become an invasive species. So even though that would definitely be the worst invasive species possible, because they're so big and obvious, and they would struggle in today's environment somewhat. Um, but other than that, the concept goes along, and you need breeding for that, because these guys don't live forever. You need more. You need to produce more of yourself. So that's why I really like this here. So I think that's really, really good. Next up, we have got another really nice screenshot of a new setting, or a new building theme. You can see Jurassic Park Japan. Apparently, one of the campaign missions, because it's going to be a completely independent campaign, unrelated to Rebirth, which I think is really good, because you can't go back to just having one island after Jurassic World Evolution 2. That really opened up the world. So this seems to be basically doing its own thing from Rebirth, and kind of expanding on that story of, globe trotting all over the world. And one of the parks, as I mentioned, is set in Japan. So you can see a lot of these different bits, buildings are set in, or given a Japanese theme. So there's the Innovation Center. So this is Innovation Center in a Japanese theme. So hoping they'll all have different things and different themes and things like that. And you can see all these buildings, all very, very different. And you can see these wonderful cherry blossoms, things like that. I imagine most of these plants, like Planet Coaster 2 and Planet Zoo, they'll just be imported from that game. But I can't complain. It's their assets. Use it as much as you can. I don't think that's lazy. That's just being smart. Here's another really cool screenshot here. So we've got pterosaurs flying around. So we've got our pterosaurs back, but we also got babies. I don't think we can see any males, but males, we do have actually pretty good sexual dimorphism for pteranodons. So we know that the males had much bigger crests than the females. So there must be one with a bigger crest out there, and this could be a little bit smaller one. There must be one with a bigger crest, something like Justinburg here as well. And then you can see you got a baby, cute little baby. And I really hope the babies, the original legacy babies will exist as well. Because we have seen babies in the franchise, like baby Triceratops, baby Stegosaurus. So that stuff will be quite cool. And you can also see them, as you saw in the trailer, they are walking. So there's lots of really, really cool additions that we'll get into. Another great shot of Jurassic Park Japan, or Jurassic World Japan, probably a better way to put it. And you can see, that cool new innovation center, some new fountains. That looks like a really beautiful fountain. Some new beautiful buildings, bamboo. And look, there's no clipping. So there is no such thing as clipping anymore. You can be completely modular, which is a godsend for this game. It's going to increase that repayability and everything as well. And then you can see the last screenshot. There's Daddy Trike, looks over there. Another Daddy Trike, and little baby Trike, who's absolutely adorable. And I hope that we get some ones that kind of look like the ones in the franchise, because we do have baby Triceratops from both Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. So it'd be cool to have skins that look like that, depending on the legacy sins and things like that. So yeah, bloody awesome regardless. So I actually have pre-ordered this. So if you're curious, this is just because I haven't logged into my account, but I have pre-ordered this 100%. So let's have a read through. So we'll have a read through of what the game brings, and then we'll go through and everything, and then we'll come back and look at the deluxe edition and things like that. So this new entry into the award-winning series Jurassic World Evolution 3 puts you in control of building and running your very own Jurassic World. Help life find a way by synthesizing, breeding, and nurturing prehistoric species. Manage each species to allow them to thrive, while helping your dinosaurs raise families and pass their genes onto future generations. Create incredible havens for your dinosaurs to help them flourish. Build exciting new attractions to amaze guests, and maintain control when disaster inevitably strikes. So yeah, that seems to be pretty par for the course for Jurassic World Evolution. But one of the new updates: generations of dinosaurs, with over 80 awe-inspiring prehistoric species, 75 of which allow you to manage, breed, and nurture families of dinosaurs across entire generations. Rear them from playful juveniles to awe-inspiring adults, each with distinct male, female, and juvenile variants. So that's quite cool. That's probably one of the big things about this game. And you can see this cute little animation of the baby raptor going up to mum, going, rah, 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 rah. You know how they do. So park guests will marvel at these majestic creatures socialize and react to the vibrant world around them, manage unique social needs, and observe brand new behaviors, including semi-aquatic dinosaurs venturing into deep water. So that'd be cool, especially with Jurassic World Rebirth having the swimming Spinosaurus and the swimming Rex. So water is a big component of that movie. So this was the perfect time to introduce it. But also pterosaurs walking on land. So that's a really good one because you have things like Thalassodracon and Quetzalcoatlus, all renowned kind of pterosaurs walking around. They can't even walk. So that's another really, really great addition for them. So I'm really happy to see that. And that needed to happen. And that was actually on one of my lists of things we want to see. So I'm nice to cross a lot of things off my list, which would be really, really cool. And I'll probably cross more off eventually. So that'll be good. But another really great thing, I love this. I love this so much because I'm a big fan of Planet Zoo, and I love the creativity. And I haven't played Planet Coaster 2, but I've heard there's a lot of big changes to that game that's really helped with the streamlined version of it as well. And also, because it's on console now, and this is on console as well, they've had to rejig the game to make it easier to play for consoles. So this will be a really great. So we're getting all this customizability for Jurassic World Evolution 3. You got it from Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2 on console, so this has been brilliant. So, creativity evolved. So, create jaw-dropping parts with new creative tools never before seen in Jurassic World Evolution series. From groundbreaking terrain editing to modular scenery customization, build and tweak every aspect of your park from the ground up. So build your sites with naturalistic enclosures using steep slopes and scenery. Includes stunning new interactions such as the balloon tour, a close-up interaction that lets guests see and touch prehistoric animals with the dinosaur encounter, and more. So it's basically the Gentle Giant's petting zoo or something akin to that. So that is quite cool. And as I mentioned, groundbreaking terrain editing and modular scenery. A lot of this has come from, I mentioned, Planet Coaster 2 and Planet Zoo. So I'm glad that we're getting a version of that to come in the game. I'm hoping it's not going to become too overwhelming, because I imagine it would become very overwhelming. But with things like prefabs and hopefully a lot of things like that, that'll definitely help with just allowing people to just go easy in the game. But yeah, you can see here that's basic modular system. So this looks like a hotel. So you can see this is a basic hotel module thing, and then you can build your own hotel around it. I'm sure they'll give you prefabs and things like that, but we'll get into it as well. So. And they'll actually, and the mention is here, create, upload, and share cross-platform community creations using the Frontier Workshop. So browse the very best creations from the community, play them in your own game, or craft your own custom parks, buildings, and enclosures before sharing for other players to use. So that's a really cool aspect as well. I knew they were talking a lot about doing it. That's basically the Steam Workshop, but instead of just working on Steam, it works for Frontier. So you can have someone that made a really nice park on a PC and then put it on your Xbox game, which is sometimes can be a bit harder to use. Though I think the newest Xboxes do use keypad and mouse now. But anyway, so it allows you to create a really cool park on PC, and then you can just bring it to from this workshop into your own game. So that's really cool there. So we're going to carry on. Join familiar faces from the Jurassic franchise, including Dr. Ian Malcolm, voiced by Jeff Goldblum, and embark in a non-linear campaign across a sprawling world map filled with iconic locations such as Montana Badlands and new locations such as Japan, each offering thrilling new challenges. Each decision will test your park management skills as you balance competing human interests, the delicate integration of dinosaurs into a modern world. So yeah, definitely it's not going to tie, hopefully, well, I guess it's not going to tie too much, because in the movies of Rebirth, the dinosaurs are going extinct in most regards and have become more just going to tropical regions. And I don't think Japan or the Badlands is considered tropical, so it'll be interesting to hear what will happen with that, but really cool. You'll need to juggle your reputation with 3 influential industry sectors and unique demands of an array of site-owning clients. But be warned, not everyone wants to see the dinosaurs thrive. So it'll be very interesting to see different aspects, things like that. Reminds me more of Jurassic World Evolution 1's campaigns than 2, so that'll be quite good, because we all know 2's campaign was very, very short, which I don't mind. I like being able to complete a game in an afternoon. But it is, it's good to have something to sink your teeth into as well. But also here we've got Control the Chaos. So set your sights up for to run as effectively as possible with powerful, accessible park management tools. Provide control of your park's operations. So there's the AMV that they kind of talk about there. But chaos is the only certainty, so prepare for disasters using new security cameras that will help automate the response to escaped dinosaurs and deploy your maintenance team to keep threats contained by delivering crucial repairs across the site. So that'll be good, being able to automate the system a little bit more, just to make it easier for you, so you can basically you could just sit back and design stuff while they deal with the actual management side. So that's quite cool as well. So I'm quite happy with that. We'll have a look at over here and see what we've got kind of different information. We won't talk about the deluxe edition until I've kind of done the review and things like that and talked about the game. I'll go through that a little bit in the end. Fans looking to extend their park. Deluxe edition, that's no, I don't read that. Jurassic World Evolution 3 pushes the boundaries of dinosaur park simulation, featuring over 80 inspiring prehistoric species to raise, manage, care for. Over 70 of these animals can breed in natural and family units, each with distinct female variations. Yeah, we kind of mentioned that. And water. And parents nurture the young after emerging from the nest. So that's cool. We'll get some cute little baby animations. Creativity evolved. So powerful new tools provide a level of creative control never before seen in Jurassic World Evolution series. Make it easy to build jaw-dropping dinosaur parks. Effectively master intuitive terrain tools to create waterfalls. So we can actually create waterfalls. So that's quite cool. Mountain peaks and vast canyons. Use texture brushes to add variety to lush landscapes. So that's quite cool. So expanded brushes, which is always good. And precisely place scenery to craft stunning parks and new attractions down to the finest detail as you shape the legacy of your prehistoric paradise. So that seems, they're going about the modular. So it's going to play a little bit more similarly to Planet Coaster 2 and Planet Zoo, which is, I think, a very good thing. As long as they don't go too much with it, I think the kind of the ease of streamlining that Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 had really does make it a bit more playable. But I think, just a balancing act. I don't want to be able to do everything because, inherently, this is a Jurassic World. There's so much, only a limit when you can do with Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster, which is literally everything. But I think if they have enough really good buildings, like that one's obviously something that's a prefab or whatever they'll call them, an initial building, that'll be really good just to make something easy, quick, which will be really, really good. So for the first time in the series, cross-platform sharing allows showcase your parks and that, so we'll be able to basically share them like the Steam Workshop, but you can make something on an Xbox and play it on a PlayStation and then play it on a PC, so that'll be good. So Epic Globetrotting Campaign. Jurassic World fans and season park managers are invited to dive the Ultimate Jurassic World Evolution campaign, featuring a sprawling world map with diverse locations like Japan and Hawaii. So that's an interesting one. So Hawaii is an interesting one. You'll discover varied new challenges across non-linear scenarios and a thrilling original narrative. So Jeff Goldblum reprised his role as a kind of Ian Malcolm, and with the cast of new and returning characters will help you bring the balance, competing human interests with the delicate integration of dinosaurs into our modern world. So that's another cool thing to kind of explore a bit. And then Control with Chaos. So featuring expanded and refined management systems, Jurassic World Evolution 3 introduces new ways to run your park safely and security. Security cameras and a maintenance ATV system help keep threats in your park under control, delivering critical repairs and streamlining your responses to escaped dinosaurs. So that'll really help as well. Apparently scientists will be back, and I know it's funny that everyone that mentions it, they're not very happy about it, but I guess it's got to work somehow. Between the moments of chaos, explore new ways to entertain your guests, including attractions, allowed to get up close to your dinosaurs or experience your park from bird's eye view. So that'll be talking about the balloon tour. So that's quite cool, and we'll have a look back here, at some of these
Peggy
features.
16.
I'm going to turn that off, but we're going to have a look at some of these features. So let's see if we can. So this is them running around. I think this is these the legacy? Must be the legacy ones. Yeah.
He altered.
I said I didn't want to listen to you, but yeah. Anyway, we'll carry on. So you can see here we've got the baby mosasaur
Of nature.
That's right. So we've got the baby mosasaur. So you can get a good look here. Mum. This seems to be Mum. I don't get anything else, but yeah, the baby mosasaurs. Obviously not very accurate to what a baby mosasaur would look like in real life, but they are very cute. You know, they got very babified features. You know, stubby fins, stubby tail, big eyes. You know, that's how it goes, and they're very, very cute. And I think it's so cool to have baby animals these days, which is really cool. And then we can see over here. So make sure you let this play.
Unleashed genetic.
So you can see this Geosternbergia fully walked. So that's really awesome to have walking pterosaurs these days. And you can see kind of one at the back there. Looks like fishing from the feeder. And a few flying around. Looks really, really beautiful. Nice to see some expanded kind of things added to the aviaries. And you can see some buildings over there. So it seems you'll be able to place building and things in your aviaries, which would be quite cool.
Genetic power.
I'll actually turn that off again. But yeah, you can see this is the baby trike. Looks like Mum's sitting over there having a good time. And you can see the babies are all different colours. And they're all very, very cute, of course. Look at that cute little baby. Look at how cute this little guy is. And you can see another great look. This is one of the screenshots that you can kind of see there. You can see how interesting that modular system is. So you'll be able to pretty much make everything from the ground up. Very similar to what you do in Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster. So that'd be quite cool. Another great one there. So you can see a little bit better look at the Japan kind of biome and buildings. You got the pagodas and everything. Very Japanese as well. And you get another good look at the pterosaurs walking over here. So that you can see them walking at the back there. But you can get a good look at the pteranodons. So we definitely know there's at least 2 or 3 pterosaurs coming in. I'll get to what we talk about in a little bit as well, but we'll carry on with this, having a look at the trailer. Gonna walk around, you know, a really cool thing. Anatomy looks a little bit better, especially with their walking. You know, they're not quite so bundled up. It's fine them standing like this, but they walk normally, which is really, really good. And then you can see this little baby Brachiosaurus having a call. I don't want to do that, but anyway. So we can see them running down to their parents, probably down there. And you can see they're wading in the water. So there is definitely semi-aquatic animals now. As I mentioned, the Spinosaurus is a great example. The Rex will probably do some swimming, considering it's one of the main features in Rebirth, because they took the rafting scene out of the novel. Though it's interesting that we can't put lagoon animals in there. I guess fair enough. I wonder how Nothosaurus will be put in the game. I guess it's going to have to be redone so it could be a semi-aquatic animal, so able to come and swim out of land and things like that. I don't think it should be relegated to lagoon. Something like Nothosaurus, I think, would be, because it's got to come because it's Camp Cretaceous, so it's got to. It'll be a cool semi-aquatic animal to add, so that'd be cool. So we'll let them carry on. You can see there looks like some sexual dimorphism there. This looks like to be Dad and Mum. I'm not sure. It's not quite extreme, but you can see that's Mum and Dad, and their little baby. That's one of the screenshots. We've got this cute little guy here, little baby Stegosaurus. You know, how cute are they? Why stop doing that? Very, very cute. And we've got baby Baryonyx with, you know, Mum probably yelling at them as well. And you can see we've also got here baby Velociraptor. Very, very cool. I'm going to say as well, it's really cool to see on that eyes going back. I really hope to see, you know, because we do have baby animals in the franchise as well. I'd love to see skins reflecting those babies, you know, like the baby Triceratops, you know, the baby Raptor squad, stuff like that. I think would be quite cool. But I'm not sure how extensive it will get, but I hope it does get that extensive as well. So let's keep on having a look, and you can see a little baby Carnotaurus hitting the wall. Boom, and then here's Dad as well, you know, coming to help break out. And you can see another really cool little look at another dinosaur. We've got Allosaurus. This looks like the Belle of the Big Owl variant, it seems. You can see he runs up, tries to jump on his parent, and, you know, we'll actually watch the whole clip. So you can see, jumps up, bites on Mum. That's kind of, you know, how baby dinosaurs or baby animals are wild with their parents. So she's kind of just, it's cute, but she's kind of fed up with it. But it's quite cute to see that. And I hope to see some difference in, like, dinosaur parental systems and nesting and things like that. So I imagine dinosaurs will have different nesting preferences. You could have some that the male is the primarily caregiver, some the female is, some with parental care, some with not lots of parental care. So I hope there's quite a bit of variation within that, and you can base that on what we know of dinosaur reproduction today. because we know a lot of sauropods, they laid pretty much a lot of eggs and then walked away, very much K selective. R selective, I think that's the right way to put it, because K is for animals that invest a lot in babies and have a lot of parental care, but they have fewer babies, and the reverse for R selective, so they have lots and lots of babies but little to no parental care. And usually it's a spectrum, so it'd be cool to have different animals have different needs for parental care. Some will produce a lot of babies but not have much parental care. Something like that will be cool, and that'll have to balance gameplay wise. So that'll be quite cool, I think, to be added. Carry on as well. You can see T-Rex and the babies there look very much, very, very cute. There's probably dad and mum hanging out, so you can see a little baby hanging out there, running around. Oh, I keep doing that. Why does it keep doing that? But anyway, carry on. Real, real cute, as I do say so myself. And then they follow mum and dad, roar. And that's over the big Japan park, not pack. But you can see that's a really beautiful map, lots of cherry blossoms, and you can see a lot of these beautiful, little things. Looks like there's hopefully new fences. That's what they said, new fences, hopefully. And you can see these all lovely buildings and new enclosures. Looks brilliant. And new monorail as well, hopefully. So let's carry on. That's the logo. And then we'll carry on. So here, let's see one of the coolest updates as well. You can see we've got some pretty big changes to terrain. So this is basically terrain ripped from Planet Coaster. So that'll be quite good. We're able to create much deeper. See, there's a deep valley. You'd never be able to make that in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So really deep valleys as well, and you can put contour lines as well on it. Your radius, so it's quite big, and its intensity looks quite intense, so it is making it quite deep gouge in the earth, and quite deep slopes as well. So you control how steep you want it, how deep you want it, how wide you want it, and stuff like that. And you can also see as he kind of puts it through, kind of auto-generates. As you can see, it auto-generates rocks and stuff, so you don't even have to think about having to go back and decorate that. So I think that's a really, really cool way to do it, and a way to do it kind of naturally. You can do something that just looks a little bit more natural, because you can see it just auto-generates it itself. So that's quite streamlined as well. And you can see here you're making a pond from the top there, and then it goes, and you can see you've got a waterfall. So that's awesome, an auto-generated waterfall. I hope that's the case, because that is amazing. And you can see we've got shallow and deep water by the looks of it. And you can see another statue, so we're getting a lot of statues and things. We've got a statue of a Spinosaurus there, pretty much the JP one, rather than the Rebirth one, but we'll carry on. You can see, dragged through there, some really interesting sculptures you can see that come back. Some sculptures of all sorts of different animals, so you got some Stegosaurus sculptures there, some really cool new signs. You'll probably be able to place them modularly as well, along with these. New lamps as well. More rocks and things and all that good stuff. That's all really add to your design, so you can truly create some unique parts. See your planters there. Looks really cool. We'll carry on. Looks cool there. New fence. So I really hope we actually get some genuine new fences. That'll be really, really nice. Because not all our dinosaurs need these huge fences. We've got consignators after all. We've also got, some more statues of Brachiosaurus and things like that. So that was just a mission from Steam. I'll check that later. But yeah, really, really awesome. Definitely a big fan, and it shows we've got already the 10 dinosaurs that we'll know that are coming back. And we've also got here bins and benches. That was something I mentioned as well. We need just more of these little things just to add to the game and to make things distinct, and I think that does a brilliant job of doing that. So yeah, I'll carry on. And these bins and things like that, and it makes it feel like a real park, because people got rubbish they got to throw away, and people don't want to be standing around all the time. They've got to come and sit down. So it's nice to add benches and things like that. So that's really, really good. So we'll carry on, and you can see we've also now, looks like we're not going to have the floppy dinosaurs anymore. They're going to be transported in a big crate. I think that's really good as well. I think that's quite good. Just to make it look a little bit more realistic, I guess, or not to have that floppy bug, because there are a lot of people notice it, especially when you're like, oh, what the heck's going on? But yeah, looks really, really good. There's some more Triceratops. Let's have a look. Here we've got the hatcheries, so we can have a look at the genes, so you can kind of pick male and female. So that's a female, this is a male. So you can see they've got different colours and patterns based on male and female, so there's sexual dimorphism. So we do have sexual dimorphism in the franchise, so I hope that's quite well represented as well. Kind of gets half the work done. It looks like we'll have placeable nests. So this is like a nest for Triceratops. So this is one for a bunch of baby Triceratops. And you can see as well, they kind of ask for things. So they kind of ask for it to be isolated. So I really hope, as another thing as well, they can add different needs and things like that. So different needs for different animals to um, be able to nest properly. So that could be a great part of their management. And I also kind of hope that they retrofit this for Planet Zoo, because I would like to see, the birds and reptiles making their own nests and things. I think that'd be quite cool. And placeable nests and things like that. One of the few times, Jurassic World Evolution has a feature and then it gets retroactively placed into Planet Zoo, such as a great example is first person mode because it came to this game first. But things like that would be pretty awesome. But also, I think I missed. We actually get a good preview of the skins. We don't have to go into the main menu and the species viewer, so we can actually directly look at the skins that we're making. So that's a really, really great quality of life thing. We can literally look at the skins in one go. We don't have to go to the menu and guess. We can actually genuinely look at it, and you can see scientists at the back, so that's all right there. We'll carry on. You can see the babies come out. Some more stuff going on, as you can see the Brachiosaurus in there. Look like little baby brachies. Looks like there's a storm going on, so things are breaking as they do. And this looks very much classic Jurassic World type buildings and that, so that's quite cool. And you can see we've got the ATV. So I guess it's the kind of this game's version of the first-person mode. Probably makes it a little bit more better in game because we're doing such big parks. So it allows you to go around and do maintenance, things like that. Work, interact with your dinosaurs, and so I imagine it's very similar in that regard to a first-person mode, like in I think the Zoo Tycoon Xbox is a great example of that. But yeah, this is kind of first-person mode that works better for I guess in context and for a big park and things like that. So it's quite cool. Big fan of that. You can see it driving around, going to go fix things, and then it gets knocked over by a T-Rex, sent flying. So I guess people like that. I guess also probably Jeep doesn't want to deal with, because I know Jeep apparently has a weird thing about their games. They don't want to see Jeeps being destroyed, so they might have just circumvented that so they could really get into destroying things with an ATV or something like that. I'm not sure if Jeeps will actually be returning. But I guess I don't know. But yeah, there's another good look at the Japan park. So you can see here some really cool designs of new buildings, and it just looks amazing. And you can see beautiful, beautiful setting and everything. Really good that it's decided to come from just a next gen console. So PS5 and Xbox Series S, I think, the newest consoles and PC as well. So it will be coming to PC. So I'll be playing it on that. But yeah, awesome. So a good look. And we can see when it's coming. So it's coming to the 21st of October, not too long before my birthday, actually, so that's quite good. So you can see where it's all coming from, Steam, Windows, PS5, Xbox, so it is going to quite a few places, and you can actually pre-order it now. So we're going to go back and have a look at the pre-order bonus. And this is the only thing that really worries me about the game. So in the pre-order bonus, we'll have, you can see 4 new dinosaurs, 2 new dinosaurs. So we've got the Guanlong and the Protoceratops, which I don't think I actually had the screenshots for. I know there's screenshots available. I guess we'll have to find them. It might be in the deluxe edition thing. So deluxe edition, that's in my library, I guess. Oh, I actually am logged into my account. Very good. It's the one hell of deluxe edition. Oh, I don't mind. You guys can find it, but you can see wonderful look at the different things. You can see we've got Guanlong with fully feathers, and you can see the male and female difference. So you can see the male's much more green, and the female's much more of a dull brown. And you can see the baby there. It's got baby features, of course. And then you can see Protoceratops, another dinosaur that everyone's been really asked for. I like the quills, really really cool design. I can't wait to see edits of that as well. But they're more paleo accurate. I always love those. It does see Guanlong with feathers. But you can also see here we've got Concavinator, who was a DLC animal for Jurassic World Evolution 2, coming as part of the Deluxe Edition. And you can see Thalassodracon as well, so which was actually a pretty premium pterosaur. That was a really cool one that is coming back in the game, but as a deluxe edition animal. So The only thing that's got me worried about this game, and I guess there's going to be more things that come up, frontier shenanigans and things like that as they happen. I hope it's a turning of a leaf, though, considering what happened with Planet Coaster 2. Anyway, you can see that they mention here there's over 80 awe-inspiring dinosaurs, and 75% 75 of them will breed. So I imagine the 5, and I think other people have said this as well, the 5 that won't breed will be probably the hybrids. So you can imagine, Indom, Indom, Dominus Rex, Indoraptor, D-Rex potentially, or D-Rex, Mutadons, and I imagine Scorpius Rex, because that's a Camp Cretaceous one, so you can't get rid of something that's canon. So I imagine that's 5 hybrids. That's 5 hybrids right there. And obviously getting rid of Stegoceratops and Encolodicus, which is a little bit sad because they've got a really cool new remodel. But those 5 hybrids will be sterile, or they won't be breeding. Though I imagine D-Rex maybe be breeding, but I don't know. Just those 5 animals, they'll be you have to make them, so they'll be hybrids that you make, or they're just a one-off. But the rest of the animals will be breeding, so that's 80. And then you compare to the roster from Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now it's 122 animals. And that is a big drop in animals. That's 40 animals that have got cut just about. I think it's 33 exactly, but, about round to about 40. So that's a lot of animals that have got cut. And that could probably include some really cool animals. But I think that is both really bad because, there are some cool dinosaurs that got some spotlight. And then, they kind of got bad designs because the first game seemed very rushed and a lot of them were on the same rig. But I think this is a good opportunity if they do come back, or whether they probably should come back for completion's sake. I think the interesting thing with the Guanlong is that it's basically Proceratosaurus, which is literally just a scaleless Guanlong in the game. So I don't know if they'll be trying to replace species like that with a more famous species like Guanlong. That's probably actually a pretty good example. Since Guanlong is basically just the more famous name for Proceratosaurus. And it's got feathers too, so I guess they could make one feathered, one not feathered. But it's just another way to replace them. But I also hope that they do bring them back and they use them as a new redesign. So they will kind of redesign them to make them a bit more distinct from the original Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 kind of versions, which I think would be a really good idea. I think that would be quite cool, being able to get another chance to bring them in. Because I know there's a lot of dinosaurs, that people don't like, and like the Maiasaurus are one that's kind of universally thought that's pretty bad. I agree with that one. It's not probably the nicest, but it'd be cool to give it a bit of a redesign, bit of a redux. And I actually think what they should do is to help bolster, kind of people coming back for free updates and things. They could throw 2 or 3 in, and if there's 30 dinosaurs, 3, 6, 9, 12, 4, 8. If they do 12 updates, they could go through and add like 2 or 3 dinosaurs, well, probably even more, like 4 or 5. They could redo dinosaurs that were originally in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 and bring them into the free updates as new species with new designs. I think that'd be a really good idea. I think that's a great way to, drum up hype as well. And give you time to really give new things to this animal to make it unique. Though I think you could come up with maybe some animals could have slightly better names attached to them, so like kind of fill the same niche. As Guanlong is probably a great example because Guanlong, as I mentioned, is basically Proceratosaurus. So I think that would be a good way to kind of meet in the middle there. So you get these new species, but they're pretty much just updated versions or new designs of species that we already had in the other games. But knowing Frontier, they'll probably put them in DLC just to pad them out. I hope they don't do this. If they do this, I hope they give us like 6 species instead of 4. I think it'll be interesting to see how the first DLC, if it's just a dinosaur pack DLC, because that'll basically come out right after the game, how that'll work. But I think that'll be cool as well. And then we've also got, I hope that they do it as free updates or part of the DLC that's got 4 or more new dinosaurs. I think that would make it fair to the consumer, because I don't want to be paying 3 times. Like I'll be paying, let's say Encolodicus is cut. That'll be the second time we'll be paying for it again, and I think that's a bit rough. But I think it does deserve to be in the game, especially with that new redesign. Why would you let that go to waste? It's such a beautiful animal now. I think it's be a waste to get rid of it. But anyway, we'll carry on. And then we got the mosasaur skin. So this is a Lux skin. So it's you can see pictures of it. I'm not going to pull it up. I don't think. Is there a way to pull it up? I'm pretty sure there is. I can go have a look for you guys. So deluxe edition. So there's probably a way to deluxe edition. There's got to be a way to look at that announcement. Let's see if I can have a look quickly. Links, no. I just wanted to pull it up on here. I'm actually going to turn my heater off. Anyway. Anyway, we'll carry on anyway. You guys can go look for it yourself. Then we've also got, some Clark County scenery items. So we got 50 new scenery items, which is always really good. Rex statue, things like that. And we got some ATV skins. So I imagine that'll kind of be replacing the Jeeps or something like that. If they're already having Jeeps, they might do something that they might replace them. Which will be a little bit sad, but like I said, it is what it is. We've also got here the Badlands set. So the Badlands ATV skin, Badlands scenery, and then Badlands scenery blueprints. So that's quite cool. Now we're getting blueprints, things like that. So that's quite cool, regardless. In terms of, see the deluxe edition, you get in the game, Badlands scenery, standard edition. This is the deluxe edition, that's what you're getting. And I think you're also getting a pre-purchase bonus, as you can see here. So the pre-purchase bonus is scenery items from the original Jurassic Park iconic dig site, as well 5 Badlands scenery pieces and exclusive Badlands ATVs. So that's the pre-order bonus, it seems. That's pre-order bonus, and this is the actual pre-order itself. So yeah, 4 new animals, things like that. So you won't be able to get these, I think, after in the next 4 months. Once the game is out, you can't get this anymore. So that's why they're trying to encourage you to, get it. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm a little bit worried about. The only thing I'm really worried about is the species getting dropped. But I hope it's kind of good because there was a lot of filler animals. I imagine like the Santosaurus, Gigantospinosaurus, Chunkingosaurus, Notosaurus. There were a lot of animals that were kind of just filler animals, I guess, just to pad out a roster. Though there wasn't too many of them, but the Myosaur is another good one. But I hope that they come back, because they should all come back, because they're all in the last games. They should come back. So we can have the completion, the roster again. But I think they should come either as free DLC, free update stuff, or in DLCs with a whole bunch of new animals as well. So we need to get at least 4 new animals per DLC, in my opinion. I think that'll be the best way to go going forward. But I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, of course. That's how it works out. But overall, my thoughts are overwhelmingly positive, actually, for this. I'm actually very, very proud to say that they've convinced me, because I was very doubtful of how this would come out at the end of the day, because of all that stuff, as I mentioned before, with where would they take it, unless they really wanted to do breeding and modular building. I thought they would probably do 1 or 2 of those features and then just call it a day. But they seem to have actually kind of learned from what happened with Planet Coaster 2. That was basically, everyone was like, what the heck have you given us? We paid full price and you already gave us DLC for a game that's still half-baked. We don't have that many themes. So they went back and are doing a lot of free updates. So they kind of learned from that. And I think they kind of realized that with this one here. So they're really correcting, and I think this is going to be really good. They're adding new themes, bolstering probably hundreds of new scenery pieces, making it more in line with Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster kind of DLC, I imagine, as well, so you get different themes for packs as well. But yeah, it's bloody brilliant. I'm really happy that they're bringing it up to that kind of level as well, but also giving us what really all the fans wanted. And I was doubtful they were going to do breeding, and they've done it. And I was thinking modular building, they're going to do it. And I think this is they've done a great job of convincing me this is actually going to be really good. And I know there's probably, from what little we know, and I know, especially with Jurassic World Evolution 2, there was a lot of jank at the beginning, like things like, they had to re-add in placing individual trees. I hope there's none of that stuff. Everything should be as easy to play as Jurassic World Evolution 2 is now. You should be able to go into that. None of these weird features that you kind of bring back for a later update. I think that's silly. They should all kind of stay as well. I know there's other things like undo buttons, and hopefully you can still forward time, things like that. That shouldn't wait until like 6 or 7 updates, and that should be in the game from the start. So as long as there's not much jank like that, and I imagine there will be some jank because, Frontier games always kind of release half-baked, and then they have to wait for the first patch to kind of rebalance some elements and things, and I really hope there isn't none of that here. I really just wish you could just go in there and play it. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty hopeful. And other than a lot of dinosaurs get cut, there was a lot of fluff, I will admit, but I think they should all come back in some capacity, either with a related species with a more famous name, as I mentioned, like Guanlong and Proceratosaurus. They're pretty much the same thing. You could make them different, or Deinonychus. That's basically just a velociraptor with a crest. I think they could do something much better with that design now that they have feathered dinosaurs. I think that's that could definitely do that. But yeah, things like that. I hope they bring them back because some of them are actually pretty iconic names. But anyway, yep, I think that's pretty good. I'm very hopeful, and they have convinced me considering all this stuff. I think this is going to be the definitive version. I think after this they're going to struggle to make a 4. But this is going to be the definitive version, and I hope they carry on like they have been with Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. Give it a full 3-year life cycle, unlike that they've been doing. Or even Planet Zoo's now got 5 years, and they're still releasing DLC. Give it a full proper life cycle, like these other games, and not needing to create 3 and 4 and 5. I think this will be the definitive version. Have pretty much everything. Barring some maybe little things, but mostly everything that the fans want out of this game, and I'm really excited that we're finally going to be able to realize that. And I will probably do a video. I'm going to do a video on some story DLC. I've got some ideas for that. A lot of them will be coming from, my Lost World one that I love talking about, but also I've got some for, Chaos Theory and the rest of Camp Cretaceous, I think, as well. Got something for Jurassic World, kind of a legacy Jurassic World thing, and I guess there's probably going to be one for Dominion, of course, unless a lot of that stuff's in the base game. I hope it is. That could be introduced as part of the campaign, or could be introduced all in its own DLC that I think would need to be pretty meaty. But anyway, I think that'll be quite good. So yeah, that's enough of me rambling. I always ramble long enough. But yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, always remember to get the little bell icon to get notified of anything. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.